Welcome back to Morning Coffee, everybody. I am Mark Cook. You are on the Radio Vision Network, but of course you already knew that. And I have on the Skype line with me right now. She is an amazing attorney. She is a financial strategist. Her name is Michelle Gershfeld. Good morning, Michelle, and welcome to Morning Coffee.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah,
Happy day.
we're excited to have you because I think what we need to talk about first off is compatibility, right? When we think of compatibility, we think about relationships, right? It's normally
Yeah.
like I'm gonna read exactly what we have here. The definition of compatibility suggests two people should be able to exist and perform together in combination without problems and conflicts. Michelle, you are here today to address the issue of compatibility and specifically, those difficult questions when you're entering a new relationship. Talk to me about it. You are frozen. You are frozen. She is frozen. And she's back?
I froze. Right. I lost you right after the definition of compatibility.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just wondering, because talking about compatibility, it's like, how do we combine two people with all their problems and their conflicts and all of that? And what are some of the difficult questions we need to ask when we're in a new relationship?
So, my thing is all about the money. And I actually had written an article just this week about that. And it's very difficult knowing when to ask the questions and what questions to ask and how those questions are going to be viewed. So a lot of my readers responded with very emotional responses across the board. So some people thought, well, you shouldn't have to ask about the money at all. You should just love the person and the money will come and the universe is in your favor. And other people felt you really have to know what's going on with the other person's money. And then the question is, well, how early in the relationship is it too early to ask those questions? And in the situation that I wrote about, my client was dating for about a month a guy who was unemployed. And at first she was ready to run because he was unemployed, but she figured, I really want to try to find love and I don't want to throw people away. Let me see what this guy has to offer. And he was very generous and there were a lot of parties and there were a lot of big expenses and a Broadway show. And he was spending. So she initially figured he had saved his whole life. He was in his 50s, so was she. And maybe he did have the money to spend luxuriously and be unemployed. So as the relationship continued over the next couple of weeks, she continued to see him spending money on gym memberships and activities. But then when she talked to him about his career and what he was doing to find new employment, he told her about some different things he was looking at, different programs that could help improve his professional qualifications and his ability to land a new job. But he balked at the price of those courses, which were, maybe in the $1,000 range. So she started thinking, well, if this guy has so much money to spend on his luxury items,
Right.
yet he's not willing to spend money on his career, what's going on here? And then at another time he had said something about, I'm going to work well into my 70s. I love working and I need to do that and I want to do that. And where the need versus the want landed became questionable for my client. And she came to me asking that question. And then I wrote about it to see, what do the readers think? What does everybody else out there think about the importance of knowing somebody else's finances and knowing if you are compatible with respect to how you're spending your money. And as I said, there were really mixed reactions across the board about that.
Well, did she kick him to the curb or what?
Ultimately, she did kick him to the curb.
Yeah, that sounds like the right choice there. I mean, this guy was basically living a false life and stringing her along. I mean, that's a pretty terrible.
No, we really don't know. She was going to ask him those questions. And I think actually, communication is what it comes right down to. And she ultimately did not feel comfortable asking the questions and felt that she really couldn't be in the relationship any longer, feeling like every time he was spending money, he was wasting it.
Yeah.
When she was herself working really hard for her money and saving it. And also she felt that she needed to sometimes spring for things in their relationship because she didn't want to always have him paying, but she was
Right.
paying for more expenses than she would have if she was going out with somebody who was more frugal or
Right.
conscientious about how they were spending their money.
Yeah, I mean, and this is right in your wheelhouse because you're a lawyer by trade, but you're really a financial expert, and that's kind of why we wanted to talk about you today. Because really, my thing is that if you're in a relationship and you supposedly care about this person, you should be able to talk about the financial aspect of it in a very civilized, honest, open way. And unfortunately, so many couples that does not happen. What is
Right.
it?
Well, no one wants to, but it's not just couples, it's families too. No one wants to talk about the money. You know that.
Yeah.
People will talk to you about sex, they'll talk about drugs, they'll talk about really upsetting life
Right.
changing moments. But talk about the money? I don't want to talk about the money. And that's our society and our culture. Everything is glitzy and new and buy me, and the new phone just came out, and hey, what amenities are you getting in your new car? And all of the things that, make everybody else feel like, wow, the guy down the street has that new car, and my kid's friend at school just came in with a new phone, and I want to have that too. I'm working so hard too, and so people spend, and they spend what they don't have, and they don't talk about it, and they charge on their credit cards, and they put their head in the sand, and so then when it comes to a relationship, well, now are you going to discuss with your new paramour?
Right.
What the money is? Are you going to continue to live the lie that you may be living for all of these years? And if you do disclose, does that make you a gold digger? Because maybe you're looking at that person's pocketbook, or I don't know. It's very important to talk about the money,
Yeah.
and to recognize for yourself where you stand and what your goals are, and that's kind of where all of my stuff is going. People are default living in the United States of America. No one, or not no one, but many people don't have goals. They don't know what they're working so hard for. So here it is, Monday morning, and a whole bunch of people are waking up saying, oh, I don't want to go to that job. They've had anxiety about it since last night, and they have to do their job. Well, okay, is this really the job you want? Is this really what you want to be doing with your life? Well, I have to work this job. I have to work for another 20 years because I have all these bills to pay. I have all these commitments that I made. My parents are expecting this. My children are expecting that. And my whole goal in life is to help you see what are your goals. What is it that you're working so hard for? And then let's make sure that the money that you're spending is aligning with those goals, not other people's goals for you.
Yeah, and that is perfect. And that is the whole mission of GetFinanciallyFit.com.
That is the whole mission.
Do you see what I just did there? How awesome that was? Because listen, if you go to GetFinanciallyFit.com, and the nice thing about us is that we're already on the internet, right? So you can listen to what we're talking about, but then you can open up another tab and go to GetFinanciallyFit.com and learn all about Michelle's services. So Michelle, I got to take a quick break. You hang through the break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on here.
Perfect.
Great. So stay with me, everybody. I got to take a quick one here on the Radio Vision Network on Morning Coffee, but I'll be right back, so stay right there.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, there we are. Welcome back to Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I have Michelle Gershfeld on the line. She is a lawyer, bankruptcy attorney extraordinaire. She is a financial planning counselor. Michelle, before we jump really into the nitty-gritty, I want to just remind everybody that they can get all of the information about you on getfinanciallyfit.com. They can learn about who you help, how you help, what you do, how you do it, and all that good stuff. So I want to just drive people there right now, getfinanciallyfit.com. But I want to know, you've got such an extensive background, right? You've practiced law for so many years, and you're this financial guru, you're this expert, right? So I want to know, really, how do you help? Like, what do you do? How do you help the clients that you serve?
Well, it depends who I'm serving. So when I serve individuals, I really want to focus on their specific situation. So I don't teach by a curriculum or a book. I look at everybody's personal status at that moment and what it is that they are looking to accomplish. And oftentimes, people are in debt. 75% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of guilt with that. There's a lot of denial about that. But once somebody comes and they decide, hey, look, I need to get a hold of my life. I'm really out of control. I can sit down with them and look at specifically starting with their goals. So oftentimes that is getting out of debt. And there are a lot of ways that can be done. And bankruptcy certainly is an option, but generally not one that I recommend. I work with people to strategize. So it's not only about getting out of debt, it's also about how can we maximize the money that is coming in and how can we bring more money in. So oftentimes people are spending money when they could be earning it. I do not sell any financial products. So I don't sell life insurance, I don't sell securities, and I'm not licensed to do that. My full and whole services are for the individual. So I also provide services for small to mid-sized corporations where I am brought in much like a healthcare benefit, a financial educator benefit. So I do individual and group lessons there to help people in the employment area, whatever that area is,
right,
understand about their money. So if the employers understand that 75% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's their employees across the board, and this goes for lawyers and doctors, as well as union members, as well as any field, basically.
Talk show hosts. Sorry, I said talk show host, but it's all right.
People are suffering, and this is not in our education system. There is a reason why my services are needed, and it's not because anybody's stupid or was frivolous or did, and maybe people made bad decisions along the way, but there's no education about this. We need to educate our employees about money. So in one corporation that I went to, I spoke to a lovely woman who had been working there 4 years. She didn't know that the company offered a 401k plan.
What?
So I can go in and I can talk about the benefits that the company is offering in English to the employees so that they know what it is that they have available to them.
That's crazy.
Again, I'm not telling you, this is where you should invest your money. I'm just telling you, you should invest some money.
Right.
You should pay yourself first. People oftentimes use all of their money, and then they decide how much is left to decide how much to save.
Right.
My goal, and it's not really about me, but if you work with me, I want to help you secure your financial future. So my goal is, let's start with how much we're going to save, and then figure out how much we're going to spend. So oftentimes people feel very strapped, and it's because of their housing costs, which exceed their income, and people buy a house because they think, oh, it's the same as what I was paying for rent, I can do this, and they don't incorporate all of the homeowner costs. And oftentimes, very oftentimes, people overspend on their money. So, for our listeners out there, I would suggest it's almost the very middle of October. I guess if you start October 15th, if you would commit to those next 2 weeks of October, putting a certain amount of money in an envelope of how much you think you spend on food, and use just that money in the envelope for the next 2 weeks. And if you run out of money, you commit to stop spending for food. That would be a very good indication of how much you actually are spending on food. But here's the caveat. Food includes groceries, eating out, alcohol, and lattes. Do you think you would take that challenge?
You know what? I'm not sure if I would take that challenge. That sounds really difficult, right? I mean, how do I'd actually have to go and look at the numbers. And I think that's probably what most people say, right? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't have it broken down like that, right? It's
all right, but how much do you think you spend in 2 weeks? How much do you think you spend on those things?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's just me.
You need to know. You need to know.
I need to know, but it's just me and my wife. Like when we're hungry, we eat. Right? Like, I don't know. I need your services, obviously, because I'm a mess here. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I think that
no shame, no blame. Like, wherever you are, it's good. Let's get it better, though.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of living to do, and these days you're gonna live to 120. People tell me, oh, I'm never gonna retire. How often do we hear that? I'm never gonna retire.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford it. Well, who do you think's going to hire you when you're 85?
Yeah, right? That's awesome. That's hilarious. But you know what? You're talking about something that's
hilarious. I want to be fun, and I want to be approachable and non-judgmental, and I want to help you. I want you to feel good going to sleep at night. I don't want you to wake up in the middle of the night saying, "Oh my God, am I going to be living in a cardboard box?"
You're the best. I think you just need to go to Get Financially Fit so that you can get in touch with Michelle, because she's awesome and she's going to help you. But I think that one of the things that we're talking about here is that I need to change my behavior. So after I have like my goals set, I got to look at what I'm doing and how I'm operating on a day-to-day basis, and then what changes can I make? And I know that you're like, you come up against this all the time, is that people are stuck in their ways, and you're like, no, you got to change. You got to change how you're doing things if you want to protect your money. How difficult is that aspect of it, trying to change how people are?
I don't want to change people. I want people to change themselves. I don't want to tell people what them to do. I want them to ask me what to do. So it's all about, or so much of it is about awareness. So just our little conversation a moment ago of you saying to me, I have no idea. And I want to say, okay, well, do you think it's important to know how much you're spending on that aspect of your life? I had one client say to me, I don't need to budget, Michelle. I just need you to help me get rid of the debt. Once I get rid of the debt, I don't need to budget. So I said, well, really, I do. I need to know how you're spending your money so that I can help you negotiate your debt.
Right.
And just tell me, for example, like, how much do you spend on food a week? So I didn't ask him to do the challenge that I just put out for you and our listeners. I just said, how much do you spend? And he came to, a number which was 40%. It was 40% of his take-home income he was spending on food. So I said, well, don't you think that's an awful lot of your money to spend on food? And he said, well, actually, if I add the alcohol in, it's 50%.
Oh, wow.
Right. And it was, well, okay, let's take a step back, and he was fortunate to be able to be living in a situation where he's not paying for rent. So he has what appears to be discretionary income. But once you get rid of the debt, so if he does get rid of the credit card debt, we can, salvage his income. So going forward, his money is going to be going towards new living, not old living,
right.
Which, of course, that's what credit card debt is all about. How are you going to be able to live a good life in the income that you make, or how are you going to earn more income? And so, this particular client also felt that, he was entitled to a new tie every paycheck because that was his present to himself.
Oh.
And it wasn't the $7.99 tie. It was the, $80 to $120 tie. So here again, it was, okay, let's really understand what this looks like. And people just don't understand. So until you have this lesson, and what I have found is if you don't learn it from your parents, you haven't learned it. And as I say, this is bankers, this is lawyers, this is doctors. who make a lot of money and who really work hard for it. And when it comes time to go home, the last thing we want to do is look at personal finance or read a book about it, or, you know, feel like they have to not spend that money because they're entitled. They work hard. Yeah. And I agree, you work so hard, and I want you to work so hard for a goal. I don't want you to default live. I don't want you to just spend what you earn and feel bad on Mondays.
Yeah, you're so right, because, look, you can't go in and be like, well, I don't want to budget. I don't want to really work at it. I just want to make more money. Well, guess what, folks? It doesn't work that way. We don't like to just magically make more money, but really, if you get smarter about what you're doing, you can really affect your bottom line, and Michelle is going to help you do that. Just go to getfinanciallyfit.com. Hey, Michelle, I got to take another break here. So,
Has it 8 minutes?
Yeah, right? This is going so fast. I got to take another one. You're going to hang with me, right? We're gonna come back, and we're going to wrap this all up and put this a nice little bow on it, right? That sounds good. All right, so hang with me, everybody. I'm going to take another break here on Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network, but stay right there because we'll be right back.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee here on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I am very happy because I've been talking to Michelle Gershfeld for the last 2 segments, and we're going to wrap things up here in this segment, but she's been giving me so much good information. She's been giving you so much good information, but I'm getting some good information behind the scenes here, and here's one that I want to share with you because she just made a great point. One of the biggest things that keeping you from achieving your financial freedom is that your unwillingness to move. You're stuck in your house. You're paying so much for this house. You don't need such a big house anymore, but you're so sentimental. The emotional attachment, right? You can't let it go. But Michelle, this is burying people. Let's talk about that.
It's just terrible, you know. People that tell me I drive up every day, you know, after working the whole day, I drive to the house and I see the pool that needs to be repaired and, you know, the money pit in the garage, and all of the areas that are bringing them down and making them feel bad, and here they worked all day and they're gonna come home with their paycheck, and it's like, okay, well, let me distribute it into this house, and I have to stay in the house. I love the house. I don't use all of the house. I don't need all of the house. But my kids would be so disappointed if I sold the house. My parents would really be upset if we couldn't have the holiday meals at my house. So everybody's really counting on me to have this house. So I can't let go of this house. But at the same time, am I up at night not getting rest because I'm worried about having to pay for this house?
Right.
That washing machine, it keeps making that noise. I know I'm going to have to replace it soon. Here we are in the fall, and the lawn guy's going to come to clean up all these leaves, and that's going to cost me money. And, man, I hope the boiler doesn't break this year, because they say about 10 years, and we're on 13.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, here's the thing, Michelle, and I want to kind of address those people because, look, people can change and people can accept change. And I know that you feel like everyone is going to be devastated if you can't host your holiday party at your house. But guess what? Everyone's going to be okay. You're going to have your party at a different place and it's going to be fine.
I'm going to be happy to be with you.
Yeah, all the same people are going to be there, right? All the same people are going to be there. You're just going to be in a different place. Don't be so overwhelmed by that. Michelle is telling you is that is keeping you are keeping you in your own way. And that's a real problem because, look, Michelle, I got to talk about because I think it's really interesting here, who you serve. One of the things on the breakdown sheet that you gave me here is that you serve millennials. Like, I think that it's awesome. I think a lot of financial advisors and planners and counselors, they kind of look away from millennials, and you're like, no, they are first on my list because they need to take control of their money and make decisions for the future that could really kind of dictate how a lot of things are going to go.
And time is on their side. Millennials, time is on your side. People don't look at time as an asset, but time is the best asset you have.
Yeah.
If you start this now, you're going to feel good moving forward. I am always trying to get people to save, as I said in the first segment, and people are resistant to it. But once they get doing it, if I talk to them 2 years later or 4 years later or 6 years later, they tell me the happiest day of the month, Michelle, is when I get those statements and I see the money increasing. That's the happiest day of the month.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That money's yours. And if you put it in a vehicle that creditors can't get to, so with some kind of a retirement vehicle, the money's exempt. So no matter how much you owe in unsecured debt to anybody else, no one can get to that money. Grow your money for yourself. Pay yourself first. You come first.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is that people are excited about that because the money is there and it's money that wasn't there before. So, of course, that's an exciting scenario. But, if the millennials can take a look at it now and realize how much time they have on their side, because there's other groups that may not have as much time. The baby boomers are starting to think about retirement. We've got a lot of people, they're getting older, and they're trying to figure out different ways to kind of make sure that their money's going to keep working for them after they retire. And Michelle, you help tons and tons of people like that.
And they're scared to death, Mark. They're not prepared. And I'm not prepared either. I mean, I'm really frightened to see what's going to happen with these baby boomers because they're the first generation of no pensions and no planning. And this was, the government's idea for people to come in and figure it out themselves. And there's no education about it. And it's a scary, scary time. And the baby boomers are going to be defining in showing, some really not pleasant results of this new plan. But the millennials actually have a great reputation of being on top of it and understanding that they are responsible. And although they, as a group seem to have a lot of new and shiny gadgets, there are a lot of really bright millennials who do understand that they're responsible for their future. No one else is going to take care of it for you.
Right.
No one.
Right.
The government,
Well, and you know what's really cool, Michelle, is that one of the line items that you have here is that, and this is something that I never hear. I talk to a ton of financial advisors and planners and counselors, and this is something that I never hear. You want to talk to parents to help parents help their kids because it's important for them to start knowing about money and all this stuff at a really young age, and you offer help and support to some parents to make it easier to talk to their kids about money?
Absolutely. Every opportunity to talk about money, talk about it. We read books to our kids when they're in utero, but the money doesn't get discussed. And oftentimes it's because parents think that they didn't do it right themselves, and they don't want to explain it to their kids because they don't want to explain it wrong.
Wrong, right.
But you know what? Just start talking about it. You know, it's terrible when these kids think, oh, you have the money, Mom. I know you can buy me this because you have that credit card in your wallet. Or go to that brick machine that just spits out money because they think an ATM machine is just spitting out money.
Yeah, no problem.
So tell the kids, I have to work to earn that money, or I have to pay that money back, and explain to them about savings. And I have so many great stories, and I know we have limited time here, but the idea of talking about the money and explaining to your family how it works gets just tremendous results. If the kids understand, look, we can go out to dinner once a week or we can go on vacation. Remember how much fun we had on vacation, but we can't do both. Then they're motivated to save. They're motivated to say, you know what, let's have pasta for dinner this night, and then we can put that money, you mean if we would have gone to the restaurant, it would have cost us $100. If we stay home tonight, we can put $100 in the vacation fund, and maybe then we can, rent a banana boat and go out on vacation over the summer. The kids are happy for that.
Right.
They understand that. If you don't tell them and you shield them from it and they think you have more money just growing off the trees, well, they're not going to be motivated to not get everything that their friends have.
Right.
But if they skin in the game, they're in the game. And they're happy to be in the game and be treated with respect and to be spoken to in a way that will help them build their own financial future.
Yeah, it's really important, and I urge parents out there, especially new parents, talk to Michelle, and then you're going to figure out how to make things easier for you and your kids in the future. Now, I want to mention that you kind of have a specialty that you handle small businesses and mid-sized companies as well. You handle doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs that are managing their own thing, HR departments, right? Like you kind of could do it all. You're a pretty amazing woman, so I just wanted to kind of put that out there. But Michelle, you're right. We are running out of time. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to just tell everybody out there anything you want to tell them. Obviously you want to drive people to getfinanciallyfit.com. That's where they're going to get all the real nitty gritty type information stuff. But just take a few minutes and say whatever you'd like to say to our audience here.
Well, what I'd like to say is I love you. I want you to be happy. I want you to live good and productive quality lives. I want you to feel great about getting up in the morning, and I want you to feel just as good about going to sleep at night. And if there's any way that I can help you to accomplish that, I want you to call me. This goes for businesses. You mentioned about small and mid-sized businesses. In that case, I will come into your company. I will explain to your employees what the situation is. I like to call it the reality of the situation. I want to work with you individually and in small groups to go over very basic financial planning. Again, I'm not selling you anything other than my time. I want you to have a good quality of life. I want you to feel good about yourself and the money that you're earning.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a clean, simple, pure, good message. And I urge everybody out there to just go to getfinanciallyfit.com, learn more about Michelle, and then if it fits, give her a call or send her an email and get in touch. Michelle, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me this morning. This was great.
I just want to mention that I do provide a 20-minute complimentary session. And
awesome.
So if anybody wants to call and pick my brain for 20 minutes and figure out if this is something that is going to work for you, give me a shout out. I'd be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, she basically just said she's going to work for you for free for 20 minutes. And that's an offer that most people don't make. So take her up on it. It's awesome. And you can get all the information on getfinanciallyfit.com. Michelle, thank you so much.
You later, right?
Yeah. I got some budgetary concerns I need to go over with you. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks. That was Michelle Gershfeld. She is an attorney. She is a financial counselor. She is great. Get in touch with her and make sure that you're financially sound, you or your company, moving forward. So that's going to do it for Morning Coffee this morning. I want to thank everybody for watching. So make sure you are here each and every day, Monday to Friday, on the Radio Vision Network. It was another great one. So we're going to see you tomorrow. All right? Have a great day, everybody. Take care.